is going on, everyone? It is episode 113, recorded on Sunday, November 20th, 2022. I'm Drew, and hey, John.
Hey, Drew.
A boy is invited over for Thanksgiving dinner at his girlfriend's parents' house so they can meet him for the very first time. They've been together for a while, but haven't quite had sex yet. His girlfriend tells him that if he meets his parents and, they can get intimate. So, in preparation, he decides to go buy some condoms at the local drugstore. This will be his first time, he doesn't know anything about condoms. So he asks the pharmacist, what should I buy? The pharmacist explains all about the differences between the brands. After a long chat, the boy decides on a large box of ribbed for her pleasure. Nice dude. The time comes for Thanksgiving dinner, and the young people are seated at dinner table with the girl's parents. The girl is surprised to see that the boy has his head bowed down, apparently deep in prayer. She whispers to him, I didn't know you were so religious. He whispers back, I didn't know your dad was a pharmacist.
The sun has set on another day, and now it's time to grab a cold one and enjoy the Dads After Dark show with your hosts, Drew and John.
What is up, John? I just had to do that intro like 3 times. I'm a mess tonight. I'm still a little sick. Actually, I'm sick again, different than last time, but that's okay. On tonight's episode, we have a lot of fun stuff. We are presenting for a second time Presents After Dark. You're not going to want to miss it, folks. There's lots of people involved. You'll see all about it again shortly. Indie Direct, yes, 2 weeks later, but we're going to talk about it again. And John, it's Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Woo! John, I'm ready. I got my Pokemon mug. I am still feeling a little under the weather, but I feel a lot better. It sucks. The other night, I was trying to convince Amy to have sex, and she's just like, no, you're sick. I'm like, who cares? Who cares?
Amy does.
She did. She cared. She cared a lot. So now I'm on the no sex thing for a week because she's going to say, no, you're still sick.
Yeah. Did Pokemon help you feel better today?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I'll tell you what.
LeChunk.
It kind of did.
All right.
You know what else I did today?
What'd you do?
I put up the Christmas lights outside.
Oh, what was your weather?
Cold. Fucking cold. Like 25 degrees and breezy.
All right. I'm waiting for a kind of a warmer day. There's snow on the ground here. It was cold. I'm just like, I'm not going out there today.
You know what else I did? It was a nice cold day. I made it myself a nice apple crisp.
Look at you baking up a storm.
Not that hard. You buy the pre-mixed shit. You cut up some apples. You throw them in a pan and put in the oven.
All right. But then you give yourself some credit. I mean, you made it, right? Like a recipe? Like,
yeah.
Like, okay. All
sure.
right. I mean, it's not like you're, making the dough by, from scratch and all that stuff.
It was good.
I always wondered, like, when we did, like, dessert stuff, like, I'm like, I want to learn how to make chocolate. Like, that would be cool. We're going to make something, and we're going to make our own chocolate. We can make it as sugary and milky as we want. And I could never find a good recipe to make chocolate. And so we just go to the store sometimes, and we'll melt chocolate down. Then I saw one of those shows, like Unwrapped or whatever, that showed you the chocolate making process going on. And it's like freaking complicated. So
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm never going to make my own chocolate.
You just buy. There's just certain things. You just buy it.
But the thing is, like, you have to buy a block of chocolate and then melt it. But like, they really don't sell the blocks of chocolate.
Where would you buy that?
Yeah, it's mostly for like other companies that will buy blocks of chocolate and then melt them down. And you want good chocolate. You don't want like shitty chocolate.
It seems complicated.
Like, if you go to the supermarket, you'll see those bags that have those little like circular pellets. But it's not really great chocolate. So it's just pointless. But anyway, I mean, like that's my chocolate rant.
Yeah. Well,
for the day.
What about you, John? What has been going on lately? I know we had that little special last week, but we didn't get too personal. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, I had my birthday.
Yeah.
Since the last show.
I am
46 now.
God bless you.
And for my birthday, we went to an escape room, my first escape room that I've ever done.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I've been really excited to do an escape room. It just has never come to me. Do you bring your kids? You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. I mean, they've only gotten popular in the last 5-10 years.
Okay.
So it's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to leave my kids home and do an escape room? I don't know. Well, my kids are old enough. They can just come and do the escape room. So
good point.
We did it. They're pretty, like, have you ever done it? Like, they're more expensive than I thought. I don't think they're unfairly expensive.
I don't remember the cost, to be honest.
It's like, basically the going rate seems to be $35 per person.
For about an hour?
Yeah, it's not like by party. I'm sure some places do it by party, but it's $35 per person. So, you know, if you were going with friends, you just pay $35 and do it, no big deal. But when it's a family of 5, you're
good
paying,
point.
You know, it's like $175.
It's a good point.
But we had a hell of a time. It was so good. I did a lot of research. We found, you know, the good ones in the area.
What was the theme?
We did, it was called Cabin in the Woods.
Ooh.
And you walk into this room and you see the front of a cabin, but like half the room is like this AstroTurf grass. And then there's a door in the front of a cabin and you can see there's stuff inside. So
that's
it's like,
cool.
Oh, cool. We have to actually get in the cabin.
So that's okay.
Yeah. So, it was really neat. We're trying to like figure out the clues outside the cabin to get in the cabin. Kids kind of figured that one out. And, like a couple of us were outside the cabin looking for clues for stuff. And then there's a bunch of there. It was one of those escape rooms where it's very asynchronous. So multiple people can be working on a puzzle at one time. Yep. I think some of them, like it's like a linear set of puzzles you have to solve to get to the end. So this was nice. Like I could be working on something. Michelle can be working on something. The theming is great. The puzzles were interesting. I spent probably about 20 to 25 minutes of it doing Morse code. And oh my God, it was brutal. Do you
know Morse code or
no? There was a sheet that showed what Morse code to each letter, so you didn't have to know it. But I was watching this light bulb do Morse code, and the thing I always have trouble with Morse code is how do you tell when a letter is done or it's just between the dots and the slashes? I'm just not really good at understanding that delay in time. So I spent a long time trying to figure out this one thing. And then I was still having trouble. And then it turned out that there's 4 different Morse codes. I didn't know this because I think it was Cedric figured out how to get the light to show Morse code. But there's 4 lights. So there was a dial going between the 4. So then I had to do all those again. And I mean, I swear to God, I spent half the time doing that freaking Morse code. They gave us like an extra 5 minutes towards the end. And then we just ran roughshod. I mean, like we started figuring everything out at the end, and literally we had the last piece in place to call for our escape with like 10 seconds to go. And Sebastian's running to the wall to hook up the radio set so we can like call for help. And we did it. So
that's cool.
That was a lot of fun. And so we're definitely going to do it again. I don't know when. What I might do for Christmas is buy another escape room package and then give it to the kids for Christmas.
That'll be fun.
But yeah, we're definitely going to do this from time to time. It was a total blast. If you haven't ever, I mean, you've done an escape room, it sounds like.
I've done a couple. Yeah, not with kids. Usually when I'm half in the bag, but it's irrelevant.
Yeah. Maybe one day, you, me, Hambone, Kevin, we're going to do an escape room together.
We tried to do one with the Rets, but they were closed. No, they weren't closed. We didn't book in advance, and we were called from the golf course, so Rex was there, so we had to invite him.
I can't imagine Rex doing an escape room.
Rex would probably just break stuff.
Yeah.
Like open the fucking door.
Yeah.
Break through the door. Like he would.
You got to be in a certain headspace of, like this is a fictional thing. I'm putting myself in this role play. Some people can't do that. They're just like they get frustrated or they can't figure out a puzzle. You got to be ready to get challenged, and
you gotta I remember we went to one. It was like a lab. Like I took a lab coat. I was wearing the lab. I was into it.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you ever go to a haunted house, like one of the a really good haunted house?
I used to go to those all the time.
If you go with somebody who's just not in the headspace, it can be such a miserable time for them.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't just go in there and be an asshole. It's fun.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
So I did that, and fantasy football.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to brag or anything. Drew, I was in dead last place, maybe second to dead last because you have been terrible all year.
Good point.
I am about to win my 4th fantasy matchup in a row in the Nintendo Dads fantasy. I don't know, man. I think I can go from worst to first here. I can't wait. I'm loving it right now.
I'm rooting for you. Kurt Cousin had 2 points today, so that one.
Yeah, so that's been fun. And then you were on TV this week.
Yeah, ESPN. Well, every game that I referee is on ESPN Plus, but this one was on ESPNU, which is more of the local cable channel.
Is that just because it's just college hockey? And I mean, it's never going to be on ESPN. It was a good
game. It was a bigger game. So it depends, like if it's a ranked team or something, sometimes they.
Yeah. So I guess you wrote us, I think in the first intermission, and said you were on ESPNU. And I was like, oh, and I was like, I got to watch this. And man, I was like way too distracted trying to watch you. I kept yelling at the players to like shoot the puck to the other side. I want to see Drew. I sat there with my camera, my phone, trying to get the best picture possible of you. But unfortunately, you did not call any penalties because you're lazy.
No, I let him play. That's how hockey should be.
Yeah. So like the other refs were there, but yeah, not you. But yeah, like, and I know we talked about this on the special, but nobody really listens to the special. But like, I want to know every time that you're going to be on TV.
Do you have ESPN Plus?
I think so. I have Hulu, so I didn't even know if I had ESPN.
Then every single game, John, you can watch.
Really?
Yeah, every single game on ESPN Plus.
I mean, how many women's hockey games are there? Or do you just do the ESPN Plus one? Do you have a contract with them?
ESPN has a contract with Hockey East.
Okay. All right, we'll see. Well, next time you go, let me know.
Okay.
I'll see if I can get it. And then just make like a horrible call. Just give the other team a penalty shot for no good reason.
Okay.
And then you will be on camera.
Yeah. And then I'll get fired. And that'll be the end of it. Sure.
Yeah, but you're talking about maybe this is it anyway. So,
that's the way to go.
Right. So just like go, woo, penalty shot, and they're like, what are you talking about? I didn't even have the puck. Yeah. And you'll be on TV. You'll be on all the news stations. Go out the right way.
Sure. Let's do
It'll
it.
Be fun. It'll be fun.
I was thinking the last game ever to just taking my skates off, putting them on center ice, and just walk off. Like, I feel like that would be like ESPN, not top 10.
Right. But then everybody would see what you did and give you a standing ovation.
Yeah, but I feel like that could go viral. Like that. Yeah. That's my viral.
Right.
That's how I get there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm all in.
All right.
It would help promote the show. Yeah. Speaking of leaving your skates on the ice.
Yes. Well, we want to thank Manscaped, as always, for being the sponsor of this episode. And it's the season of giving thanks and giving gifts, John. So let's give thanks to clean-shaved crotches and smooth balls. So give the gift of smooth, hairless balls slapping against your wife's turkey.
Oh, my God.
Make sure you reach across the table to grab those buttery buns, because let's be honest, what is Thanksgiving without sloppy leftovers? After your face is stuffed and you're ready to shit your pants, head over to Grandma's Smelly Recliner and whip out your phone. And head over to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS, because it's time to finally buy a loved one some Manscaped products. It's it. Simple as that.
Nice.
I Manscaped today, John.
Very good. How do you feel?
I feel good. Not too itchy. I feel great. I'll tell you what, the Lawnmower 4.0 on the low setting is the perfect height for like the average crotch area. And then you get the straight razor. You can clean up the little areas that you want. But for the most part, I don't need to do complete, straight razor everywhere anymore.
I don't know how you would even think about doing a straight razor, but I just keep thinking about your floppy worm. No, never happening.
I'm telling you, you can't hate it until you try it.
I'm not going to do it.
It's time to look at the bounty board.
So if you did not watch our special last week, if you've been living under a rock, if you were not in our Discord, if you are doing any of those things, you suck. But Presents After Dark, this is our new holiday season Secret Santa exchange extravaganza. Listen, John, I am blown away. I am humble. I am excited. I got a little chubby. We have currently 17 people signed up for Presents After Dark. I mean, I think we did. Shit, we might as well just name them all, right? I mean, should we just be letting the
Who do we
world
have?
know who
Yeah, I
might be
haven't
doing it? So, of
followed
course, we have
everyone that you've added.
myself and yourself. We have the one and only Bob Cousy. We have Esco Richard. We have Bruce Patterson. We have Tim Off. Chris Lodell. That's the NHL guy. So if you get him, be careful. You might get NHL 94. We got Eston, which is solo something. We got Hambone Johnny. We got Jesse Waldeck. We got the informant himself, Andy P. Mecha Dragon 101. And we have all the Nintendo dads. So if I didn't, I said Tim, Jesse, Marty, and Justin. All of them are in. We have Ebusel. We have Matt's Power. And we have Etzlonette. I mean, that's amazing.
I know.
There's got to be more. We got to hit 20.
It's a who's who. Yeah. Yeah, we got how long do they have till to get their names in?
Correct. So you have until the end of the day, Tuesday, November 22nd. So not long. Once you're listening to this, you got to tell us soon. Because what we're going to do Wednesday, we want to do this all before Thanksgiving and the holidays, is Wednesday's selection day for John and I. It's like the, NCAA bracket. We're going to be pulling the names off air. It's just easier that way. And we're going to be assigning everyone their Secret Santa for Presents After Dark. Now, there was some confusion. Presents After Dark, you don't have to be sending fleshlights and dildos. It's not a true, After Dark themed Secret Santa. I mean, if you really want to, sure. But that's not the intent. I mean, we all love Nintendo. That's one thing that brings us all together. We all love Nintendo. So I would expect it to be something Nintendo or video game related. Doesn't have to be. Because we talked about this before. It could be some homemade type gift or something. But remember, it's a $25-ish value. There's nothing saying it can't be more. But if you are buying something, we want to keep it around that value. So, if someone else gave you a gift for $25, let's not return a gift for $5. That's a little unfair. So around $25. And that's it. I mean, what else do you have to really say about this, John?
Yeah, I mean, if you know the person well, I mean, I think everybody on here is fairly well known. There's no names on here that I'm like, I haven't heard of that person. Like, this is the who's who of Dad's Discord. And so, I think we kind of know each other. And if you don't, go search on Discord, take a look, you can figure it out. And if not, yeah, Nintendo. You can't go wrong with Nintendo. I think whenever you have these sort of Secret Santas with people who are in a like-minded interest, there's going to be gifts that it's oh, I already have that, thanks for the Zelda puzzle. I already have that, we do have a lot of it. That's fine. I mean,
it happens.
Don't stress too much about it, but yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm hoping whoever I get, I'm going to try to get something really personal to them or really personal to me. And then, yeah, just to reiterate what you said too, not only say you don't have to get After Dark, I would say don't get After Dark unless you really know the person and whatever. Yeah. Like if I get Coos, I mean, he's getting a dildo. I mean, that's just basically what he's getting. I'm going to give it away now.
You better hope he doesn't get you, because his imagination is, whew.
Yeah, but he's Santa when it comes to Nintendo stuff.
That's true.
Yeah, so we're gonna pull these names on Wednesday. I'm very excited for it. But yeah, you got to get it to us before we wake up on Wednesday.
You have to.
No exceptions.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you've had time.
It's not in.
We'll post a bunch of last chances this week, but just get your name in, send your name and your address to either Drew or I, and we'll get it in there. And we hope to end on an even number. So we'll figure something else out.
It's easy to cross and figure that out. That's easy. I don't think that's relevant.
Don't we need an even number though? Or we can just
no, because you have 3 people, you can just swap it around.
You're right. You do a circle. I was thinking this whole time. Okay, you're right. Never mind.
Oh yeah, we circle jerk it.
Okay, I'm down for the circle jerk. Should we just make the whole thing a circle jerk? We should just have one big loop.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay. Anyways, John, what do we have on going on for our current bounties?
I'm gonna say this for the last time, Drew.
No.
The decked out feat for Shovel Knight Dig to get all the armor, the relics, the accessories is now officially off the board.
Now, as the Dads After Dark official finance manager, I am pleased to put that $20 back into the bank.
Right in our pockets.
Back in my pocket.
We should do it so that we keep the money.
Wow.
If nobody does it. So it's like a dunk tank. I think we've talked about this. This is like a dunk tank. Now we have $20 that we can spend on whatever we want because they didn't do it. No. We will give it right back to the show.
Yep. That's all.
So that one is officially off the board. Sad. I still want to do it though. I'm still set on getting that done. The new one we have from last time is find a fire, water, and grass shiny in Pokemon Scarlet or Violet. And we've already got one claimed.
Crazy.
Dylan?
This was like 5 hours after launch.
Yeah. And I had actually forgotten about it. It just wasn't on the top of my mind. And then Dylan chatted me directly. He found a Hoppip. And so the grass is claimed. Now, Dylan, excuse me, I'm sure Dylan's got shinies for fire and water already. But as Dylan knows, you can only claim one of these. So we have the fire and the water left. Two people can claim these two. So somebody might have claimed it and forgotten about our contest. So if that's the case, unless you have a 30-second video, you can't claim it. But remember, you have to take a 30-second video after you capture it to prove that you got it. It's the only way to prove to us that you did it. Don't forget the 30-second capture.
Here's my problem, John, is I probably have a shiny. I don't know sometimes what if it's a shiny
they
or
flash.
not.
You can tell. Like there's little shines on the screen when you're doing it. There's shines on the Pokemon. Oh, okay. If you go through your list, you'll see a little shine. They
do tell you. Okay.
It's not just the colors
different.
Color. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it does signal it out. So that's the only bounty that we have right now because we have some other contests going on.
We do. And John, what about our last contest we have going on?
Yeah, I really like this one. This is the new monthly mayhem that we started. This is Beat Your Backlog. That is in full swing, and that runs to where does that run through? Let me check
whatever
here.
One, I felt like you didn't give us enough time.
Well, okay, so it runs through December 22nd. And so there's plenty of time on this one. And what you have to do is you have to play a game that's on your backlog. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be on your official backlog. It has to be at least a year old. So you can't tell me, God of War Ragnarok is on my backlog. It has to be at least a year old. And it has to be a game that you have never played, never started, nothing. Just a game. Maybe you bought it at a store or you bought it digitally on sale. You never started it. And it's just sitting there and you'd like to play it someday. Now's your time to play it. You have to beat the game. And then what we want you to do is tell us a story. When did you buy the game? Why did you buy the game? Why did it take so long for you to play this game? And then tell us about, did you enjoy it? How was it? Are you glad you finally played it? Do you wish you played it earlier? And give us a little review. Maybe a score out of 10 if you want to, however you want to do it. And so basically tell us your story about playing this game. And we're going to take all of those stories on the 22nd and going to judge them. And we're going to pick a winner. And then for all the other stories that didn't win, you'll get entered into a lottery. The winner gets $15 eShop cash. What a great Christmas gift, right? That's why it's ending right before Christmas. And then a $10 eShop for the lotto winner. So that's going to be fun. I am the only one who has put in. I'm not eligible, obviously, but I played Miles Morales. And I'll talk about that later. But that was my big backlog game. And that's it. So TLDR for all of this, the next deadline you need to know is you need to enter into Presents After Dark by the time we wake up on November 23rd. That's what you need to focus on.
That's all we want.
And that's it.
We need at least 3 more people.
Yep.
It's time for the meat.
Hold on, a little more cookie here. Cookie is delicious.
Cookie.
You
eating cookie with a spoon? I don't understand.
You can't, Drew, you can't eat cookies without milk. And you can't eat cookies and milk without a spoon. So that you can, instead of You don't want to dip it.
You dip it.
Well, you can dip your cookie and you get like half of it wet. And then how do you dip the rest of it? You're putting your fingers in your milk.
You eat the whole cookie in one bite. Like,
yeah, but you have to get your fingers into the milk in order to get the whole cookie milky.
So did you really have like a cookie soup or a melt cookie?
No, I'll put a piece of cookie in the milk with a spoon, and then I'll use the spoon to fish it out, so my hands are not just like constantly dripping with milk.
But then your milk is just full of cookie dust.
Yes, that's exactly what I want. It's like when you eat cereal and it's like chocolatey by the end of your chocolate
really
Rice Krispies, right?
Cereal.
Oh my God. All right. So we have got to talk about Indie World from a week and a half ago. Yes, Indie World, I think it came out, it was like what, the 9th? And our show published on the 7th.
Can we just say we did do some special videos, short videos on our TikTok?
Yep. Yeah, we did. I did predict on our last show that we were going to get an Indie World very soon, and literally the next morning they announced it, which kind of sucked for us because we didn't really talk about it too much. So yeah, we posted our thoughts on TikTok. And if you want to see us on TikTok, we're at tiktok.com/@NDadsAfterDark, where you can just search for the username NDadsAfterDark in the TikTok app. So we gave our thoughts on that. But let's go a little bit more in depth. We are not going to go through every game. But what I'd like to talk to you, Drew, about, what are the games that you really liked? What are the games you thought looked bad? Tell me anything. And we have the list here. I'm not going to go through every game. But I will. Drew's just destroyed his mic.
No, I think I knocked over my coffee almost. We're good.
It was funny. Michelle watched your TikTok reaction and she goes, "Oh my God, he said the same thing as you." And I was like, "That's right, because I'm always right." This, to me, this Indie World kind of had a slow start for me. Okay. In the first 8, 9, 10 games, I would say I was interested in Pepper Grinder and then Dordone. I mean, I'm probably not pronouncing that exactly right. But those were the two games I was interested in. And so I had this little list and I'm like, all right, Pepper Grinder and Dordone. You never really know if you're going to have a lot of games from an Indie World. So I was happy to have two that I kind of liked. And then everything, once Rogue Legacy 2 hit and you and I squeed to each other, it just kept going. Yeah, I'll say it didn't get better, because Rogue Legacy 2, you don't get better than Rogue Legacy 2.
Oh yeah, John, how's that going?
We'll talk about that. But the whole second half, I would say, of Indie World was just banger, 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 banger. So of this list, I would say, and really, Rogue Legacy 2 and a little to the left were the two games that I bought the minute they arrived on eShop. I think it was about 2:00 my time, or whatever was at the top of the hour. I bought those right away. And I'm a guy who likes to wish list things. I'm kind of like an indie developer's worst nightmare. I hate paying full price for indie games. I throw them on a wish list, and the first time they go on sale, I buy them. I'm a cheapskate, I know. But I bought Rogue Legacy 2 and a little to the left. Those are so far the only two that I bought.
I can't jiggle in my mind when anyone says that name.
What?
A little to the left.
It's a very After Dark. It's a very After Dark name. And then in addition to that, I'm interested in Blanc, which we've seen before. And look, I know my name is Zublanc, and this is my game. But this was the co-op game that I think Michelle and I would really enjoy playing. It looks really cool.
The deer.
Yeah, it's like there's a deer and a fox, I think.
This is a you game.
Yeah. And it comes out Valentine's Day. Is that perfect? I mean, that's just perfect. You know, Valentine's Day, you have sex, and then you play some Blanc. You play some Blanc.
You should completely straight razor your balls for that Valentine's Day.
Maybe I'll just stay naked while I play. Completely shaven.
I want you to shave. A little baby powder on it after.
Yeah. So Blanc looks really good. Again, Dordogne, I'm very interested in that one. That's the one with the they're taking photos, but like I think it's the girl. It actually goes back and forth in time. So when she's a kid and when she's older, and I think different stages. And she's taking it's like recording audio of sounds from her childhood. Definitely a wish list game for me. I'll buy it when it goes on sale, but I'm very interested in that one. And then Inscription's coming. Like that was in the sizzle reel.
I still know nothing about this game, but I'm so excited because of you.
Yeah,
and I'm going into it that way. Like I'm gonna play it. I've already said that in my mind. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna play it. I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it.
Everyone has always said to me too, like don't look up what this game is or whatever. No. But what you typically see in a trailer, a normal Inscription trailer, is a part of the game, and the rest is not like that at all, which is great. They showed a little bit more in the Indie World trailer, though. There was a little bit, or no, the video they put on Nintendo's YouTube showed a little bit more of the game than I've seen in any other trailer that I remember.
I mean, do you realize that game's coming in 10 days?
Mm-hmm. 10 days.
10 days.
I'm going to skip it. There's a physical version coming out.
You played it, though.
Yeah, I played it on PS5. I was not going to buy it. I was just thinking, you know what? I'm not done with that game on PS5. I was going to buy it on Switch, and I decided, no, you know what? I'm not. But there's a physical version coming out for Switch. So I'm like, all right, I'll probably buy the physical version when it comes out.
That's what you need, more games.
If I'm going to double dip, I want the physical version. And then Sports Story.
Sports Story.
Quite a way to end that Indie World. So I think, yeah, it was kind of a blandish, like C+ Indie World for a while. And then just boom, 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 boom at the end. I think it ended really well. So I was pretty happy with it. How about you? What are you getting?
Yeah, the same thing with the beginning. Like I was at work watching this. I was legit watching the first half of this and like kept going back to emails. Like, oh, let me read an email. Because like it was that boring. I stay strong. I'm going to continue to say this. I'd rather cut 10 minutes out. I do not need to see the developers sitting on their couch. Like I don't care. It's not personal. Like I don't need the personal bad story. I don't need to see the fucking cat that the game inspired licking the girl's fingers. It's just weird. It's weird. I don't need to see that. So Nintendo,
I do.
Cut it out. Cut it.
No, leave the cat.
No.
Cat stays.
No, I don't need. No, it's done. Cut it out. Yeah, as you know, you mentioned a few. I'll just mention. Road Legacy. Absolutely talked about it. WrestleQuest, we knew about this game, and it's funny because this is one of the games that's not even coming out for a long time, not till like May of next year. But this is one of those. I don't know if I'll play it. Like I'm not a huge wrestling guy, but it looks like a great game. Like if this was anything else, like a sport, for example, Golf Quest. But
right,
it looks solid. It looks really good.
It does. I could see getting dragged into this game if it comes out when I don't have much else, and it's like, let me give it a go.
That's how I feel. Sports Story, obviously, we're in love with Sports Story. We played, it's been 5 years almost, God, because Golf Stories was one of the first games that came out on the Switch. I'm still I'm shocked that there was some golf in it. I wasn't sure if I was expecting that or not, that there will be golf in Sports Story.
They could have skipped it. I didn't know either. We knew that there was going to be other sports.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. Now I am concerned there's going to be too many sports. Like you don't want that you add too much stuff. Like you're not focusing on like 1 or 3. You're focusing on 10. I don't know. I'm just
right. And then the game is delayed by 2 years.
Yeah.
I trust them. You enjoyed Golf Stories so much. There's no reason to fret over it. You're just making something else to be worried about. Trust in
I'll be fine. I'm playing it. It's in December as well. But again, we don't get a hard date, which is crazy to me.
That is weird.
It's coming out in the next 45 days, and we don't have a date.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
I don't know either. So we'll see. But that's it, really.
I was going to play Sports Story when it comes out, and I don't know if it's the timing or just sometimes you wait so long for a game, you sort of lose the mood.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think I see myself playing Sports Story day one. I just don't. I think I'll be involved in something else
I could see that.
So that'll be a 2023 game for me, I think. Yeah, and then I guess aside from that, I mean, there were some good ones. Did you talk about Have a Nice Death?
Nah, I mean, it looks like
yeah.
every other fucking one, to be honest. Will I play it? Probably. But I mean, I love roguelites, obviously, but how many of the same stuff can we have?
Yeah. I think Have a Nice Death was a game, too, where initially I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And then once we got the rest of the indie world, it was kind of going more towards the bottom of the list. But it looked good. Pepper Grinder was another one, too, where I was like, oh, that looks really good, because up until then, I hadn't seen anything that I was interested in.
Correct.
And now Pepper Grinder will be like, I'll probably forget it when it comes out.
Yep.
But yeah, Once Upon a Jester, I like games like that. I probably won't play it, but I like games that just do something different. Like, doing theater. It's just awesome. Remember in The Witcher 3, did you ever get to the part where you have to do the play?
I don't know.
Do you remember that? Was that
a
a side quest? I thought that was a necessary quest. But
you're pretty far. I need to play more.
You are trying to find God, it's been a while, but you are trying to find this guy, and you do it by putting on a play, because the guy will come to see the play.
I don't think I remember that one.
And Geralt is writing a play, and then he gets roped into acting in the play. It's pretty hilarious. So it just kind of reminds me of that. But yeah. So I think there's a lot. Oh, and Storyteller. We'd seen Storyteller before. That's the game where you have to put the people and things in certain slots of what looks like a little comic strip.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was so much more interested in this the last time I saw it. And then when they showed it this time, it looked almost too simplistic. It's okay, put the people in the strip and then they act it out. It's where's the challenge in this? I don't know if the trailer was just not good because it didn't show what this game's challenge would be.
Yeah.
But I kind of got turned off by the new trailer for it. If it's just some kind of visual novel thing or something where it's I'm just going to put people in and that entertains me. But it's no, I want it to be a challenge as to how I put people in and what situation and how does it affect me down the road. And the trailer didn't relay that to me. It was just way too simple. So I don't know. But everything else looked good. All right. So we talked about Indie World. We're going to talk about the Game of the Year nominations, but it's a lot to talk about, and Drew and I are hungry. So it's time for a snack break.
Snack break. We haven't done one of these in a while. I think last Halloween.
What kind of snacks do you have? I just had some cookies and milk. By the way, while I was talking, I dropped a bunch of milk on my desk, and I had to sop it up.
Oh, that's because you're eating a fucking cookie with a spoon out of a glass of milk, John.
And I knocked the spoon with my hand, and that's what caused that to happen.
You made fun of me, and look what happens. It's not how you eat cookies. All right, so I'm going to eat. I've never had these before. Now, I've seen these before. They're the Meiji. I don't know if I said that right. Hello Panda. What are they called? What are these called?
Hello Panda.
There's not a cracker or cookie. A cream center with crunchy shell. Now, you have these as well.
I happen to have the same bag by random happenstance, Drew.
And we went with
right by my desk.
Yep, strawberry flavor.
Now, you've never had these.
I've never had these. I love the designs on the front, but yet they're trying to have it. They have pandas playing sports. Right?
Speaking of soccer ball, right? You got soccer?
I got one with a football given the stiff arm. I'm going to throw that one.
I'm going to smell the bag. Wow, that's really strawberry.
Cream center. Now, do you think this cream is going to be liquidy, it could fall out of the cookie?
I don't think so.
Would you call this a cookie or a cracker?
Yeah, it looks more like a cracker. I don't know why.
Let's give it a go. I'm going to bite it in half. I want to see what the cream looks like.
Okay, I'm going to eat the whole thing.
A little dry.
Yeah, I didn't feel like a explosion of...
I was hoping a little more explosion of cream. But
strawberry is pretty subtle, too.
Yeah, they're not bad, though.
They're not bad. They're not what I thought they would be.
What's it taste like? You know those little breadsticks that you dip in the cheese?
Like fondue?
No, like the little plastic things, right?
Oh, with the red stick.
Now, yeah, but the other one that has the breadsticks, not the crackers.
Okay, yeah.
It tastes like that.
With strawberry.
There's a hint of strawberry cream cheese.
They are, like, I wouldn't say they're individually good, but I'm already like throwing multiple in my mouth now.
Yeah. Like I can't stop. But would I buy these again? Probably not.
All right.
But I'll eat the rest of the bag.
Are we getting
Not
ASMR here? Eat your heart out, Amaranth.
Oh, masticating here. So I have another one. Apparently, I like strawberry. I went with strawberry lemonade flavored. They're called skinny dipped. That's why it kind of drew me to the bag.
Yeah, they knew how to market that.
It looks like they're like yogurt, like almonds dipped in strawberry lemonade yogurt.
Weird.
I mean, sounds good. No,
I mean, how could it be bad?
You know, let me clean the palate. Some H2O here. I don't want to mix strawberry flavors. Do you have any more snacks, or is that it?
That I'm gonna watch you on this one.
Oh man, this seems.
Well, I'm dying of thirst. I might have to grab a bubbly.
Oh my god! Oh, that smells like shit.
Really? It sounds like you're eating an almond.
A little sour.
Really?
I'll tell you what. Not great. And I love almonds. I love an almond.
Now, where did we get these candies? I feel like we should say that. If you want these, we got them at Five Below. I could not find the almonds. It took me a while to find the Hello Panda, honestly.
I'll tell you what. These are not good. I will not be eating anymore. And I will not be buying these again.
Wow. Just a complete flunk. You should save them for Hambone Johnny the next time you meet up.
I mean, they look like little rabbit turds. and that reminds you of Hambone. I'm not gonna lie.
But it doesn't, like, you know those chocolate covered strawberry things that I was eating, I think, a few episodes ago?
Yeah.
Those look like shit. I mean, literally looks like shit. You're eating like shit you might find on like a zoo floor. But they're so good. So I don't think the fact that they look like turds is what's dissuading you. I think you're just pointing that out because they just taste like
I went back to the Hello Pandas.
We got a winner. Got a winner.
I might actually buy these again because they have multiple flavors. Now I'm intrigued on what like the other flavors would taste like.
And you know your kids want to have some of that. Like, absolutely.
They might like these.
My kids have seen this bag for going on a week now. I literally bought them right before we went to the escape room. We had time to kill.
They probably wanted to open them.
And I didn't want to open them because I didn't want them to get like unfresh. I don't know, like unfresh before we did our show. But like tomorrow, I'm going to let them have them.
I love that each one is shaped with a little panda head with some type of
loosely. I don't even know if you look at the stamp before you eat it.
I'm trying to, but I can't really make it out.
They run them through a printer.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done with my snacks. I'm going to say, if I had to rate this snack experience on a 1 to 10 scale, it's like a 3.7.
What, the almonds or the panda?
Total experience.
That feels unfair to lump them together.
Right, then the panda would be like a 5.8.
5.8. It's oddly specific.
The almonds were like a 1.3. I just cleaned my palate. I'm done. Let's move on.
Right. Let's move on to Game of the Year award nominations. Drew, this is one of my favorite times of year, and I will always be the first person to say, and I will do it again, nobody gets to tell anybody what the fuck the Game of the Year is, okay? The Game Awards is doing their nominations, and they're going to announce their winners, however they decide they're going to see fit, if it's by vote or by judges or whatever, and this is just the Game Awards opinion. No game is Game of the Year objectively.
Excuse me.
Your Game of the Year is your Game of the Year. So we need to stop being offended by these. We can laugh at them. but it's just one company's opinion. It's really just an excuse to do a show so they can sell advertising. That's all the Game Awards is. So every year I like to watch the Game Awards just to see the ads, the game previews, the world premieres, which actually really drive me crazy. But let's talk about the nominees. And I've got a big list in front of me. I'm looking at the website. I'm not sure if you've seen the nominees, Drew. Let's talk first. Let's talk about the big one first. This is Game of the Year. Overall, the 6 nominees are A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray in what was shocking, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, another shocker. Drew.
Please tell me you're not going through every category.
3. No, we're not. 3 PlayStation exclusives. Sony was partying when this list came out. 3 games you can only play on a Sony platform. 5 of the 6 are on PlayStation. But look at Nintendo with a Nintendo exclusive in there. What do you think of this list? I mean, you played Xenoblade. What do you think of this list? I mean, not having played all the games, does it feel right? Do you think something got slighted? I mean, what do you think?
Stray is just like, that picture looks like Puss in Boots, but
Stray is a great game. I really enjoyed Stray.
The rest makes sense to me. I mean,
for a good week, everybody was talking about Stray. It was everywhere. And that's what I feel like this list is. It's like the games that were talked about the most on social media. I don't think Stray should be top 6 of the year, nor should Xenoblade 3, honestly.
Yeah, it's been a shitty year. Let's be honest.
There's been really good games. I don't know. I was just a little surprised by this. I thought we would see actually the Marvel Snap game on here.
A mobile game?
Why not? And it does seem like the Game Awards has tried to get an indie game in every year for a while. So we see the likes of Hades and, then maybe not indie, but we saw It Takes Two. There's always some kind of surprise game that's in there. And I think this year Stray was the surprise game. I mean, of this list, I'm going with Horizon Forbidden West because that's just the highest one that's on my list of games of the year. Stray was fun. Elden Ring, it was fine. I think Elden Ring has flaws. But I think Elden Ring should definitely be on this list. And I haven't played God of War Ragnarok, but Plague Tale Requiem, I was excited to see it on here too. I haven't played it yet, but A Plague Tale Innocence was one of my favorite games. Absolutely great game. So I'm glad to see Requiem's on here. All right, let's take a look at Best Indie.
Sure.
The 6 nominations for Best Indie are
5.
Best 5: Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, Tunic. Solid list.
You would assume by default Stray would win if they're saying that's up for the best game of the year. So if Stray doesn't win, then this whole thing is fucked up.
True. You're right. By deduction, Stray should win.
Yeah, it should. Good for Cult of the Lamb. That's getting a lot of praise. I know Hambone's all about it.
Yeah. I think the 3 favorites on this list are Cult of the Lamb, Stray, and Tunic because all of those games got the most play on social media. They were talked about obsessively. Neon White and Sifu. I saw a little bit for Neon White, but I didn't see people just really going crazy over those 2 games in general. So like you said, I think probably Stray should win this one. I actually thought Tunic would get a Game of the Year nomination. Not that I really enjoyed it while I watched Michelle play, but there's a lot of really cool and new things that they do there. So, but I guess that's true of Cult of the Lamb and Stray too. So this is a good list. And I hope to play. You haven't played Tunic.
No, I'm not really interested.
Okay.
Which is weird, but
yeah. I do hope to play Cult of the Lamb somewhat soon. And I think eventually I will play Tunic, even though I didn't love it while I watched Michelle play. I feel like I just have to.
You'll never play it.
I will.
So many games.
I will. I have it on. I have it on my wish list on Switch, and I can always play it on Game Pass too when I sign up. What else do we want to look at? How about, let's see here. Let's look at best family game, because I think you've probably played a bunch of these.
Let me see.
Best family game. The nominees are Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Mario and Rabbids: Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3.
So this is a funny category, right? Because what defines family? That's right here. For the best game appropriate for family play in respective of genre or platform. It just, that's a tricky category in my eyes.
Right. Are you awarding the game that is the mostest appropriate for families, or here are 5 games that are appropriate for families, which is the best game?
Like, is it playing with your family watching you play? Like, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know how Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope ends up on this list, because that's just a game that you play by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say Kirby by a landslide, but who am I to... I mean, if you're saying family, yeah. I mean, Splatoon was great. People love Star Wars. I mean, Switch Sport, but I just Switch Sports could possibly... That I would consider a family game.
That seems to be
it was that good, to be honest.
That seems to be the ultimate family game, but I don't know if a lot of families played that together.
I know one guy that played a lot, but
100 hours. I'm up to 100 hours of Switch Sports. I can't stop. Yeah, this is a tough list. I kind of fell off of Splatoon 3. I might still come back. It's there.
I actually liked it better than I thought I would.
Yeah, are you still playing?
I played the whole Splatfest all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Splatfest brings me back in. The December 1st update, I might jump back in. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if I had to go by family here, I might go Splatoon 3, just because, I did play with my son. Switch Sports, I've played the longest of all these games by far, but I didn't play that with my family at all. In fact, that game doesn't promote playing with your family, because when you play it online, that's the only way to earn points and rank, so you don't want to play with your family because you don't earn any points from it. So it's almost like anti-family.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But all of these games were good. I didn't play Skywalker Saga, but I imagine it's good.
Yeah.
And Kirby and the Forgotten Land really was incredible. I enjoyed it a lot. All right, let's look at some more here. Let's take a look at most anticipated game. That's an interesting category.
Okay.
Kind of a weird made up category, because
pretty much it's like advertising.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
How is Resident Evil 4 like a most anticipated game?
I'm kind of excited for it, but I'm never going to buy it day one. I can definitely see buying it at some point, but...
Is this a remake?
Yeah, that's a remake.
Is this the third-person view one?
Mm-hmm, yeah. That's the one you played.
No, I
recently.
played 2.
No, you played Resident Evil 4.
No, did I?
Yeah, that was your plane game.
Oh, so there... No. That wasn't my plane. What are you talking about?
You were going to take a flight, and you said, I need a game, and you decided to play Resident Evil 4. That's the one when you go to the cabin.
Is it? I thought that was 2.
And then you go into the little village.
And that's where I stopped.
Yeah, that's where you stopped. Resident Evil 4 is my favorite Resident Evil game. I'm excited that there's a remake.
It now, though, if they're remaking it. Probably not on the Switch.
Not on the Switch.
Anyway.
Maybe Cloud.
Hogwarts
Legacy.
You playing this?
What? Hogwarts?
Yeah.
At this moment, I do plan on playing that day one.
Good for you.
I would say, though, easily Legend of Zelda
has to be.
yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is I think going to win, or Starfield. I think those would be the two, but definitely not for me. Starfield is not a John game at all, so I don't really care. Hogwarts Legacy maybe, but you just got to think Legend of Zelda takes this category.
Yeah, I would say.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at one more. What do you think we should go? I'm not big into music or anything.
Last one. Best action adventure. What is that there? No.
Let's take a look.
No. That's a bad one.
Oh wow, that looks like all the game of the year. Best action adventure is Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Tunic. That's all of the game of the year nominees except for Xenoblade. Where's best RPG? I don't even think I've seen that yet.
It's irrelevant. They're all the same games everywhere. This is like the Oscars.
Best role-playing game: Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, which, God, I keep forgetting that came out this year. Triangle Strategy, what a fucking joke that is. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Triangle Strategy to me does not feel very much like an RPG. That's more of just a tactics game. That's a tough list. I mean, I'm sure Elden Rings could just win every category it's nominated for, but in terms of actual RPG, I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the true RPG in this category. Like when I think of RPG, I think of games like that. I don't think of any of these others.
People love to Live Alive, but I agree.
Yeah, they did, but that was like kind of like a story segment thing. I feel like Xenoblade can win this category. I never liked Pokemon being called an RPG. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just a grind. It's a grind fest with critters. I don't know.
Critters.
It doesn't feel like a RPG to me.
Now, when are the Game Awards? When they take place?
They take place. I just saw it. It is December 8th at 7:30 Eastern time. Yeah,
lovely.
And the show usually goes a few hours. Every commercial is a video game commercial. So it truly is. You watch it for the commercials. They'll do the awards. Like I said, who the fuck cares who they think is the best role-playing game? The only thing that matters is what you think is the best role-playing game. I never pay too much attention to the winners. Oddly enough, the only awards I really care about are the ones that involve the individuals. So like this year, best performance, one of the nominees is the lady from Immortality. And if you play Immortality, she did such a great job. And it's such a weird kind of niche game. So she's nominated, and then Ashley Birch is nominated because she's Aloy in Horizon Forbidden West. I usually do pay attention to the best performance because I just think there's some really good performances out there, and you really want to see a really good acting performance get, rewarded. But generally, it often will go to a popular game. So last year, I remember the lady that played the lead role in the True Colors didn't win, and it was kind of annoying. I think it was Resident Evil 8, the lady vampire.
Yeah.
So, but they like that one's always interesting. But like when it comes to the games, it's just you can't take it personally. Whatever. And the Game Awards is in the tank for Elden Ring because they're the ones that were releasing all of the new trailers for it. So I think they had a good little marketing deal going on with them. So I don't expect anything. Is that it? Let me take a look at best narrative real quick. I love narrative games. And it's the same games as game of the year, essentially. Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality, which I think is cool for them. I definitely wanted to see my game in there, but
we gotta move on.
I want to talk about it the rest of the time. All right. Best esports athlete.
Oh my God. Who cares?
Jong Chovi Ji-hoon.
What are you doing?
Lee Song Hyuk. He goes by the name Faker. No? All right. I don't know any of these people. Hey, have you ever looked at the best content creator? I've never even heard of the people in best content creator. How good of a content creator can you be?
I've already closed the link, John. That's where I'm at.
Sometimes I like to overdo it just for you, Drew. All right, what do we got next? Witcher 3 update is finally coming.
Comes back full circle, jerk.
So I will be coming.
You're not coming. You're not.
We have been waiting for this. I think this was announced a year ago. They said it was coming 2022. And then as the time was getting close to the end, it was like they did their press conference like a month and a half ago, CD Projekt Red. And they didn't say The Witcher 3 was delayed. So I was like, I guess it's still coming. And yeah, December 14th is a really late date to be releasing anything in the gaming industry. What if this game is just full of bugs? Are they going to be working over Christmas? No. So real dangerous. But Witcher 3 update is coming. I don't know if we know too much about it, but graphics are updated for newer consoles, so PS5 and Series X. We're getting some new content. I don't think a lot, but some new content, including content related to the Netflix Witcher show. So very interesting. And I did get confirmation, Drew, that update is coming for the Switch as well.
We just need Witcher 4 at this point.
I'm good with more Witcher 3.
Are we? Because I don't know. We've talked about
You didn't even play half the game. You already have Witcher 4.
I played more than half.
There's so many side quests that you didn't do. You didn't do the whole last section. You didn't do.
The last section I did not. That's a fact.
Never saved Ciri.
I won. No, I won the game. I banged Triss.
Poor Ciri. You made. Oh, I said Ciri. That's what happened. Yeah. Are you going to jump back in? I mean, are you going to jump back in?
I don't know. Sports Story's going to be out. Inscription's going to be out.
I can't see you jumping back in.
I can't play this game on the TV anymore with the kids around.
No.
Last time this kid was out, the kids were so young, I probably could play on the TV.
Right. I expect to play it all over again from the beginning.
Oh my God!
I will say
why you don't ever play games, because this is what you do, John. You play the same shit, just like Persona, just like Witcher 3, just like Life is Strange. This is what you do, and then I'd ask you to do one thing and play Rogue Legacy with me, John, and you don't fucking do it. All right. All right, rant over. I'm good.
Is your rant over?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you done bitching?
Yeah, I am.
Right, sit back down. The Witcher 3 is so good. I mean, like, you play the games that are good. And if you're gonna play a game again, you want to play something that you really enjoy. Yeah. But I will say I have some reservations too, because I know when I start playing the game and go through the cutscene with weirdo looking Ciri. By the way, they better fix that model for child Ciri.
Oh my God, you and her shins.
If they fix the model, game of the year.
For next year. Like the update now made it the game of the year for now.
I think there should be a special category for best update to a game, and then they show like the old Ciri and then the new Ciri and be like, yes, game of the year. I played the beginning part of that game to death and did every side quest and whatever, and I have to do it again.
It gets you out. It drains you.
But the middle part of the game and then the ending part of the game, I sort of mainlined more. And so I'm really looking forward to playing a whole bunch of side quests I missed there. But it could be a little bit painful when I start. The first 15 hours or 20 hours
oh my God,
will be kind of painful. But yeah, I can't wait for that. All right, let's go to some questions. First question is from Timmy, Neoprime33. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish now and when you were a kid? Also, is there a Thanksgiving tradition that has disappeared because the person or people who led it don't do it anymore?
I love this question. It's a great question.
Let's hear it.
As far as dish goes, I think I'm going to go with homemade stuffing, because it's just something you don't eat a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's
stuffing
not like...
or homemade stuffing? Are you accentuating the homemade?
I don't eat either one a lot, but I mean, homemade stuffing is where it's at. It's just, but I think that's my dish. I mean, I like to do sweet potato too, but I can get that at, restaurants and stuff.
Yeah. I love stuffing. I love stuffing. Sebastian hates stuffing.
Really?
I don't know why. It's just bread with herbs in it, but
yeah,
I can have stuffing with anything.
Me too.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, like, I could name a pie. I can name a side. I love like yams, broccoli. I'm a big fan. But honestly, my favorite thing to eat on a Thanksgiving day is the combination of the turkey, the mashed potatoes with gravy all over it.
Oh, I do love that combo.
Yeah. Generally, I will put the mashed potatoes, put the gravy like all over the mashed potatoes, but I'm dipping the turkey into the mashed potatoes and gravy and all of those three together.
Would you say that if you had the option, you'd put gravy in a cup with turkey in that and eat it out with a spoon?
Maybe not, but I love a lot of gravy. If you give me a Thanksgiving without gravy, I'm not even going to eat the turkey.
I agree. You got to put gravy on everything. Stuff in the mat, everything. I agree.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not Thanksgiving without the gravy. So you know what? Great point, John. Maybe the best dish is really the gravy. Because without that, the rest of the dish falls apart.
The gravy is the MVP.
Good point. Good point. Any traditions that you no longer have?
You know, I thought about it. Not really, but I miss Thanksgiving with my family back in New York. When I moved to Colorado, I know. When I moved to Colorado, I'm here alone. I have no family here. It's just Michelle's family. And I don't go back. I've only been back to New York one time for Thanksgiving. And man, like they just go all out. And my mom's gotten older and, you know, but like they just go all out. And there was just like 10, 12 dishes. And I don't get that here. Like when we do Thanksgiving with Michelle's family, you know, we have turkey. We'll do mashed potatoes. Maybe there'll be some broccoli. That's it. And that's it. There's like 4 or 5 things, some applesauce. It's just not the same. But having it with a big Italian family that loves to cook and get all like the traditional stuff, I really do miss that. And I one year I do want to go back, but like my mom's not really, you know, cooking Thanksgiving anymore. So it really just, it won't be the same. But I just miss that.
I hear you. I have one that we used to go to my uncle's in Connecticut. We did 2 things. We had a annual football game with all the cousins and stuff.
In the street? Or did you go?
No, he had a really big side yard, which was like the perfect size. And there was like some hedges, so we even like did field goals and stuff. Ton of fun. And we would play in any weather. Everyone would bring clothes to be ready to go, depending on the weather. We did that for like almost 15 years. It was awesome. And then we would also do the same house at Thanksgiving. We had a billiards tournament. I sucked at pool, but it was still fun. And we had a tournament for that as well. So we always had we actually had darts as well. So we always had like darts, billiards, and football. It was just always fun stuff. We all got older, you know how it goes, and then
people move away.
And stuff. They move old. Exactly. So
big question for you here, Drew. Big question. Did you guys play football before or after the meal?
Always before.
Okay. All right.
Always before. The billiards and stuff would be after or as we got older too, I think the football faded and more like darts and billiards kind of took over.
Right, because the old guys, they can't run and play football, but they can stand there and throw a dart.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now, did you guys all do this while like all the women were cooking? Is that basically what ends up happening? Like, we're not going to help with anything. We're going to go play football because it's a tradition.
Correct.
But they probably wanted you guys out anyways. They're like, fine, you know, like we're going to have our girl talk and talk all about the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Pretty
Sounds
much.
like fun.
Yeah, before everyone had kids.
Yeah, I know. Kids fucking ruin everything.
They fucking do. Fuck kids.
God. All right, we got a question from Chris HL94. What is the most memorable after dark Christmas present you ever received?
This is another fantastic question, and I'm going to disappoint Chris. I'm sorry, buddy. I really don't have a good story for this one. Do you?
Wow. I do.
What? Great. Carry me.
VHS porn.
Who gave you that?
I don't remember honestly if it was a Christmas gift. But from an ex-girlfriend of mine. She bought us porn. Nice. And it was like a VHS tape. It's always funny. And I remember it. I think I maybe only watched it once. But you know, it was worth it, right? But I remember, God, it was like some guys at a dirt bike. I don't know if they're practicing or whatever, but like think about like, you know, dirt bikes when you go to like a dirt bike course and there's hills and all that. And there was these like women, and I remember vaguely in my head these women, and they were like at some point like they were teasing the guys and they were taking their tops off, and they had like, you know, the black tape over the nipples sort of thing. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why. Were they underage?
That's what it was.
Why would you do that? And they were just kind of teasing the guy, and they kept like pulling at the guy's clothes or whatever, and then eventually led to sex or whatever.
Nice.
I don't know if I really got far into the whole movie. But
Sounds
I
like
got
you did.
VHS porn. Now, a real interesting question would be if you ever got, and this hasn't happened to me, so I'll throw it out to everybody else. Is you ever get an after dark gift while you were with family opening presents? That would be an interesting one. Definitely didn't happen to me. I've seen it happen in movies, but getting an after dark gift while your whole family's around and you have to like somehow put it away.
I don't think I really have anything.
That would be a great gag to do. Just give it. Would you ever like just as a joke, you'd buy a dildo for your grandma? I
mean,
would you have a grandma you think would take that joke? I mean, mine wouldn't, but
yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any grandmas.
You go to Amy's family and you just get her some really bad. Maybe she gets you a fleshlight. Oh, that would be good. All right, Chris, do you have a story? I feel like Chris has a story.
I feel like Chris does.
Yeah, definitely does.
Let's hear it.
All right, let us know, Chris. All right, thanks for the questions. Let's talk about what we've been playing.
What we've been playing.
Drew. You want to go back and forth, or I can.
Sure. Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
All right, I'll do mine. I played a bunch, and I've played some really good games. No stinkers. First of all, I'll talk about I played Miles Morales. This is interesting because when the PS5 came out a couple of years ago, both those consoles came out right around my birthday. Like literally, Xbox came out on my birthday in 2020. I had some commentary about the launch lineups because it was the easiest thing to compare because the Xbox had nothing at launch. Remember, they were supposed to have Halo Infinite at launch. They had nothing. They released that console with fucking nothing. All that was there was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It wasn't their game. Just weird to see like a system come out without a first party game. But Miles Morales was the big one with PlayStation. And I kind of dunked on it a little bit on Twitter because I had heard that it was like a 5-hour game. And I felt like they just kind of pooped it out there just to say, wow, we got Miles Morales on launch and like people would get excited, but it wasn't a full game. Man, I was wrong. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. And Miles Morales is on PS Plus Extra, so I did not have to buy the game.
Okay.
So it was a great time. So Miles Morales takes place. What?
No, it's just the same shit you've been saying for 2 years ago.
You waved your hand at me.
The greatest fucking thing ever. It's free games and game pass.
Yeah.
Oh, now you got
Free.
PlayStation. Best thing ever. PS Plus.
I'm just saying is I didn't have to buy it. I might not have played it if I had to buy it because Cedric has the PS4 version. And I'm not going to put a PS4 disc in my PS5. Let's be honest here. Yeah. Yeah, so Miles Morales is a pretty much a direct sequel off of Spider-Man from PlayStation. And you play as the Miles Morales character. Miles Morales is in Spider-Man, in the game Spider-Man on PlayStation. And so basically the story of this game is we're going to get to know Miles Morales better. Peter Parker goes on I shit you not, goes on a trip to Europe with Mary Jane. And he leaves New York City in Miles's care. And of course, every fucking thing goes wrong. Bridges are getting blown up. Buildings are getting blown up. And all I can think of this entire game is Peter Parker's just on a beach in France while the city burns to the fucking ground. But this game just had so much style to it. They really went with, Miles Morales is in, is it Brooklyn? One of them is in Queens. One of them is in Brooklyn. I don't know. But this game has just a ton of style to it. And as a New Yorker, I really appreciate it. And it takes place during Christmas time. And there's a lot of Christmas decorations going on, lots of lights. It's a very pretty game. And it's like perfect for this season, right? It's snowy and everyone's got Christmas lights on their windows. It's really nice. But like there's so much diversity in the game because as a New Yorker, I understand what New York looks and feels like, right? And it's a very diverse place. And there is a part where I'm walking on the streets and there's just Christmas decorations everywhere. And you hear a guy say, hey, Jimmy, what are you doing for Hanukkah? And it's such a cool, most people wouldn't even notice it. Most people would be like, what is that? That's what New York is. Like, New York is like this huge melting pot. And there's no way that there's just Christmas decorations everywhere and we all celebrate Christmas. There's so much more. And I'm sure there's more than just like Hanukkah talk in the game. But it's just those little things which really made the game feel really good. Now, it's kind of it's not a full realization of New York City because everything is pretty clean. And New York's, it's a big city and there's a lot going on and there's homeless and whatever. It's a big city. It almost kind of reminded me of this is how nice New York can be if we all just kind of kept it clean and stopped throwing our hot dog wrappers on the floor.
John. Never.
I know. But thoroughly enjoyed it. And this was my backlog game. I did have one quest, and I think this happens in a lot of these kinds of games where I couldn't beat the quest because the quest was glitching out. I had to take a picture of some guy, and I thought I had found the guy, and I was going around trying to find this guy, and then I just did a restart checkpoint, and then I found the guy, and I took a picture, and it worked. So that glitched out.
Sounds like a technical issue, John.
It was definitely a bug in the game. But yeah, I just really great pacing. I love the character of Miles Morales, the voice acting for him. And it really is a very family-oriented game. In other words, the story is about Miles and his family directly. His mom is running for, I think, councilwoman, and his sister's involved in this game. So just loved him. So glad I finally played through this game. So that's a great one. If you have PS Plus Extra and you haven't played it, I mean, you just owe it to yourself. It's not long, but it was definitely a little over 10 hours as well. And I did all the side quests and everything. Just had a blast doing it. Really great. I played God of War. Not the new one, the 2018 one. Because I had, what do you mean, of course I would?
Why did I play the new one? Who cares about the old one?
I did, because I didn't play the old one, and the new one is a direct sequel to the first one. Why would I play Ragnarok?
I don't know how you play games. Like, I like to play games that are relevant to today's media and people are talking about it. That doesn't bother you that you always play games like older?
I'm older.
No, but I'm saying like,
you're just going to replace me with somebody younger and more relevant?
No, John, you're not getting it. I play current games, so I like being able to talk about it or see stuff on it and read stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
But you seem to always like that doesn't bother you. You don't want to play a game at release. You're like, whatever, I'll get to it whenever. Like God of War comes out, you decide to play the one that's 4 years old instead of the new one.
What is wrong with you? I play games that get released, but Ragnarok takes place immediately after God of War, and I never played God of War. And God of War is on PS Plus Extra.
Oh my God. If I hear that one more time.
So God of War came out in 2018. I never played it. I did play, I think 3 of the older God of War games. And the older ones are like hack and slashy type games, and they're fine. They're fun. They're kind of mindless, whatever. You pick up power-ups and you just beat the shit out of everything.
Sounds like my type of game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally up your alley. God of War 2018, I guess they call it, is more in the model of, God, I don't want to say Uncharted or something, but yeah, like, it's more of a third-person, over-the-shoulder perspective.
I hate that.
They do make callbacks to the original games. And I won't spoil it, but like midway through the game, you get a weapon upgrade, and it's a real throwback to the original games that I really enjoyed. I asked this question to Game Pass News, but the thing that took me hours to actually notice, and then I said, wait a minute, and this is amazing. This whole game takes place in a single tracking shot. You know, when you watch a movie, Drew, and you watch like a 3 or 4 minute scene there's no cuts.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff. I could watch that shit all day long. Give it to me. Like, the longer, the better. Love it. This whole game is a single tracking shot from the very beginning to the very end. There's never a cut. like where they cut it and then go to a different scene, or they cut it, or even when you're talking to a character, you know, when you like see the person talking and then you see the other person talking and then you see not a single cut. If you talk to a character, the camera will be on the person talking, and then as if there's somebody standing there with a camera, they'll just turn it and pan to the other person and then turn it and pan back, or
That's
go
cool.
over the shoulder or whatever. It is incredible when you realize it.
Yeah. That's cool.
And that was easily the best part of the game. Really
That's
good.
sad.
Yeah. Really good. Like, there's really good storylines in this character. There's a witch named Freya. There's the enemy is named Balder. And then it's obviously between Kratos and his son, and the death of the son's mom.
Spoiler.
And well, I think that's from God of War. I think a previous game. So I'll spoil the shit out of that. But yeah, so I did enjoy it, but I still, to this day, don't love Kratos as a character. He's not a super likable guy. They try to humanize him a little bit, but he's never been a relatable or likable guy in the games. So that's still kind of in play for me. And then it also has a lot of backtracking. I swear to God, in the first 10 hours of the game, I feel like you're just going back and forth in the same area. I don't feel like I saw a lot of areas in this game, at least especially with the main quest. So that left a lot to be desired. There is some side questing you can do, but I was so dissuaded from doing it because most of the world is in water and you're boating from location to location. So if you just want to go to a different area, you either have to find a quick travel point, which sometimes is annoying. You have to go to the quick travel point.
Mm-hmm.
And their quick travel hub was kind of a little weird because they wanted this game to be a single tracking shot. So if you're going to travel from location A to location B in another world, you know, usually that's a big loading time. But they're not going to just warp you there. So they make you go to this middle area so they can continue this tracking shot. And then you walk around this middle area, but you're really not walking anywhere. You're just moving until the thing loads, and then you go, and then you're there. So that was the only part about the single tracking shot that was hard for them to do, obviously. But otherwise, you have to get in a boat and row. Again, I think that's there. It's like more like by slowing you down, they can do the loading behind the scenes. But it just made it really annoying to navigate. I didn't 100% this game at all. And yeah, so there's some people who say this like their favorite game of all time. That wasn't my experience, but I really enjoyed playing it. I'm glad I played it. I feel like I got my PlayStation card stamped with a couple of stamps these past 2 weeks. I got Miles Morales and God of War done. So the last one left is really Ghost of Tsushima, and then I'm done. I'm official. But that was a really good game. I'd recommend it. Play it. And I've heard Ragnarok. I mean, it's getting 10 out of 10 scores. I've heard Ragnarok is really, really good. So I'll play that in 2023 at some point. Let's get back over to Switch. I played A Little to the Left. This was from the Indie World. Do you remember this one? This is the one that's like the chill puzzle game.
This is let's just
one with
look
the
your
cat.
type of game.
Yeah, the one with the cat.
Puzzles and
So this is like little things around the house. For example, the little twisty plastic clips that go on bread. One of the puzzle games is there's a bunch of clips. They're scattered on the screen, and you're supposed to like move them next to each other and connect them like a puzzle. I was really excited for this when we saw the trailer the first time, and then they basically shadow dropped it in the last Indie World. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. The cool thing about it is when they present the puzzle to you, they don't tell you what you have to do. So they might show you a puzzle and it's a bunch of books. That's it. And that's it. They don't tell you anything. They don't say, organize them, do it this way, organize them small to large. They don't. You just sort of
kind of like an extended version of WarioWare.
No. It's longer than that. But you're supposed to tidy. That's really what it is. You're tidying things up. And you can do it in multiple ways. And that's what's really cool is some of the puzzles have multiple solutions. So for the books, you might organize them big to small or small to big. It doesn't matter. But then they also have, on the binding, they have patterns. And if you move them around, you realize the patterns actually link up and make a picture. So you do that and you get a different star. So not only do you want to beat the puzzles, and there's no time limit or anything, but you'll see empty stars, and then you go back and you find different solutions. I found that incredibly fun. It had a pretty cute hinting system, and it was chill. The music is chill. I will say there were at least 2 puzzles I had no idea what to do, and I spent a long time on them. I didn't just go, I don't know what to do, and look it up. No idea what to do. So I went looking at the hinting system where you can actually look at like a slice of the screen to just see give me an idea what I should do. I unveiled the entire puzzle. I literally had the solution staring me in my face, and I was just moving pieces in. When I'm done, I still had no idea what I just did. I have no idea why I had to do the clovers in this way. I had no idea what I had to do with the garbage scraps in this way. There was like 2 puzzles like that. And I don't know if they were just broken or what, but those were weird. So if you play this game, if you've come across a level where you're like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, it could be one of these. But other than that, the other levels were all fine. Sometimes an alternative solution maybe escaped you. I think in the end, I had to look up 3 of them. There were 3. I had to look up. I had no idea what to do. And they weren't super, super, super hard. I just really didn't think about it. But I really enjoyed it. And I hope they do more content with this. Oh, fuck. That reminds me. There is a, they call it, I think, Tidy of the Day, or the Daily Tidy. And every day there's a new puzzle. Okay. And every day you do the puzzle, you get a point. And as you earn certain points, you get stamps.
Your life is going to turn into just doing like daily challenges.
Yeah. And I just
a video game. That's all you're gonna do.
I just realized I completely forgot about it, and I haven't done it in like close to a week.
I'm telling you, no.
Oh yeah, no. It takes like 2 minutes.
That's the point, John.
I can't believe I totally forgot about the Daily Tidies. So yeah, I really enjoyed that game too. And then lastly, I don't need to get into it too much, but I'm still playing Persona 5 Royal, to my surprise. I played 80 hours of this one. I played over the summer, I think. Persona 5 Royal, I think midsummer on PS5. It took me 80 hours.
God, this is another example, John. You played an 80-hour game 4 months ago, and you're doing it again.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Either. I don't know why either.
I don't know why. I bought this game on Switch because I was really curious about it. I played Persona 5. I didn't play the Royal version. So I was just curious about the royalness of this version. And look, I made a list of like my favorite new things that are in this game, but I'm not going to go through it. But there are different ways to upgrade your character, different kinds of attacks. Like I love the Showtime attacks. Those are new and Royal. I love them. Different ways to navigate around. And some quality of life, like when you finish a battle, Joker doesn't run for a long time before you continue on playing. It like cuts it off. There's a couple new characters that are really important in this game. One of them is a doctor who can help you to do SP upgrades, which I found I didn't like the way they did SP in the game. The SP is like your magic points, and there's so few ways to boost it back up, but there's more ways to do it now. So yeah, I love the quality of life updates, and I just finished the 4th palace. I can't believe I'm still playing. I thought I would fall off this game after a couple hours, maybe after the first palace. I'm 4 palaces in, and I mean, nothing's stopping me. I'm going through it all again.
Oh my God.
So, but I got Futaba. I love, that's where I am right now. I just rescued Futaba, and yeah, I'll be heading to the 5th palace probably this week. So yeah, I'm glad I'm playing the Royal version. That being said, Drew, I'll say right now, this is the last time I'm playing this game.
Sure.
Is it okay? Is it a great RPG? Yes, I can tell you it is a great RPG. You fall in love with all of the characters. They all have great personality, great voice acting. There's so many ways to upgrade your characters. You're constantly like, I'm going to go study at the table. Ooh, my knowledge is higher. Ooh, I'm going to run to the store and rent a DVD so I can raise my guts. Like there's so many ways. you can hang out with your friends and you'll upgrade your relationship with your friends. And when you do, it allows your friends to do new things in battle that will help you. And you're like, oh, cool. Now I can do this in battle. There's so much of that. It's a great RPG. The one thing I have to say about it is sometimes just going through the days can just take so much time, and there's so much dialogue piled on you. And you're just like, look, I just want to get through the days. Let's get to the next palace or whatever. But they have all these story sequences that go on and on and on. And there's a bunch that are coming up that I don't want to do again. I don't want to go to Hawaii. I don't want to go to the beach. But then the moments, the story beats, and the really great moments in like combat are always just so much fun. It's a great game. And like, if you are ever looking for a really good RPG to play, I'm telling you, the Switch port of this is perfect. It's just a perfect port. So this should be a game you consider if you're ever looking for like a big RPG. I think you would actually like it. And it's really well ported. I am shocked. When I played it on PS5, I was like, no wonder this game's on Switch. They wouldn't be able to do it, but it's a great port. So I love it. And last but not least,
because more,
and I'll let you talk about it. I played Rogue Legacy 2, but I want to hear you talk about Rogue Legacy 2.
How much have you played of it, John?
I beat the first boss.
Okay.
And I got into the second area. I'll talk about it, but that's where I am right now.
Sure. Well, I've been playing Rogue Legacy. I've been playing a shit ton of Rogue Legacy. I've played about 30 hours.
Wow.
I beat the game. It's done.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Wow.
Part
of me was hoping you get so stuck in Pokemon, maybe I could just fly by you.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
It's a great game. It's a great game, and it's like I go back and forth with it. That there's some. It's not perfect, right? Let me say that it's not perfect. I think, and even the first one. I mean, they've improved a lot of things, but it's definitely. There's some things that are just confusing, and I get a lot of road games are like that. But I told you I struggled because I was stuck in this area for like a week. Well, maybe not a week, but it felt like a week, days,
a long time.
And I found out once I beat the boss that, it was in the wrong area. I was like on the last area in the game, and I didn't beat the two previous areas.
And right? I want to ask you about that, but before you continue, can you just discuss the basic structure of this game? Because it's pretty new, and I know a lot of people haven't played this.
Yeah, you go up, down, left, right. That's
all you need to know.
That's where this game came from, John.
He's not wrong.
I'm not wrong. It's just a great little side scroller game where
it's not a side scroller.
It's a side scroller up and down and left and right. No, so the whole point of this game, right, is the legacy part of it is you get to pick these different characters when you start, and each character has unique set of skills, right? It might be a bow, it might be a sword, it might be a lance, etc., etc. There's endless possibilities, and within that, there's also certain traits, and the traits are randomized every selection. It could be as simple as you just fart when you jump, or it could be as far as you're colorblind and everything's black and white. Or it could be really advantage stuff like 100% gold collection, 50% more damage. You can see your map is fully exposed. Like it's just, and it's funny. I played 30 hours, John. I was still unlocking new traits today.
Wow.
Like there's just tons and tons of stuff. You will die a lot. I died a lot in this game. It's fun. So when you start, you get to select, they give you 3 options of the characters you want to play, right? And this is my problem with this is I feel like there's times where, like, and later in the game too, when you're trying to fight bosses, there's just no way you're going to beat the boss with one of these 3 options.
What 3 options are you talking about?
Like when you get to choose one of your characters.
You're basically saying you're picking a character and you're like, yeah, none of these are contenders to go all the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not like you can just die or start. Like you'd have to go play and die and then just restart. So that was one of my problems I had with it. So once you get to pick one of your characters, there's also like armor upgrades, right? So you can do different types of upgrades for your typical armor, sword, cape, helmet.
Those are permanent upgrades.
No, those are you wear them, but they're permanent, but you wear them. So once you find them in the dungeon, let's say, they go back here, you buy them and you unlock them permanently. So yeah, I guess they are permanent. And
But you can do armor upgrades in the tree as well.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, so let's rewind. So there's the tree. Now the tree is funny because I feel like I only unlocked 20% of the tree and I played for 30 hours. And yeah, the tree has millions of permanent upgrades. And then after that, yeah, you have the armor, and then you also have runes that you can put on. So there's like so many upgrades and permanent upgrades to make you stronger. But I felt like I never really even like got close to those. And maybe I just felt that I was always underpowered. Like after I got to like the third or fourth area, I just feel like I never really got overpowered, which I guess is good. But I also, this isn't really a spoiler because it's in the first game as well. There's a robot, right? And if you activate the robot, it locks the map. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that made it a lot easier.
It does. So, right. So every time you play, the dungeons reorganizes just, and it's a new map every time. If you pay the robot, he lots in the map.
Right.
But there's a penalty. By doing that, you don't collect gold. You collect a lot less gold.
Less gold, yeah.
Right. So instead of like, the point of it is, if you're going to make a run where you're just going to go straight to the boss, it's really good. And there are a lot of teleports that you can go from area to area. So that's pretty good. I will say navigating made it super simple. The bosses are hard. There's some bosses are very hard. But yeah, I loved it. There was a lot of spots like it reminded me a lot of, believe it or not, in a weird way, Enter the Dungeon. Like certain things that you wanted to go back and try again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, one of the traits is dwarfism, and you're like a little mini guy.
Yeah.
Right. And then I came to this room in one of the dungeons where there was this little door, but you had to be tiny.
Oh, I see. So yeah,
and I never found that room again while I was tiny.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I wonder what that does.
It might not have even been there.
Correct. And it might have just been an additional treasure chest. Who knows? But it's just the point. So there's stuff like that are really cool. A lot of fun. The game is great overall. Yeah, I mean, bring on Road Legacy 3. Like I said, it wasn't perfect, but
are you done?
A lot of fun. I don't know. I gotta look it up because I tried really quick. Like after I beat it, I went back in to see. It said like there's a new adventure waiting, but I couldn't find anything. So I might look up. Try not to spoil anything, but just say like, where do I go or what do I do? Is there more to play?
Right.
Because I'm not sure.
I mean, really, I think it's just more runs. Maybe there's got to be. I haven't seen it, but like achievements or challenges that you can try to do.
I didn't see any. I don't know. I gotta look into a little bit more, but I might be done. But I'm gonna double check it.
So let me go through my experience real quick. I started it yesterday morning and started playing it. And my first impression of it, and you and I loved Rogue Legacy, and I feel like I've forgotten a lot of Rogue Legacy.
Agreed.
My first impression was, what the fuck is happening? It starts up with this story and you go to this island with this big castle. And I'm just like, what am I trying to do in here? And the tutorial section, which is really short, teaches you how to run and jump and dash and all that stuff. But then you go through the castle that you're in, the part of the castle, which is like the first area. And it gives it a name. It has a weird name. And then it says difficulty level 1 star out of 6. Okay. And you go through and you come to this challenge and it warps you into this little alternate universe. And they teach you, there's a couple of them, but one of them will teach you how to talk to, I won't even explain it, but talk to these things and they won't attack you. And you talk to the whispers, and the whispers are knights from the past that died, and they can give you tips. Okay. You go through the challenge. It's nice because they fill your health, which is great. And you go through the challenge and then you're done with the challenge. And then you can suddenly talk to these blue orbs, but I didn't really pick up on that. But then you die. And then I played again and I came to another challenge, and it was like, oh my God, you have to make me do this fucking challenge. Like, and the challenge is really just a tutorial section to teach you this new move. And it's like, you're going to teach me this challenge every time? Like, oh my God, like, you know, is this going to be an annoying roguelike? The story was getting weird. I'm trying to find these estuaries, and I'm looking online for what an estuary is. And it just says it's like an enclosed body of water or something. I was just like, what is an estuary?
If you're confused already, you're going to be in big trouble.
So it
gets complicated.
I love Rogue Legacy, but I was really confused as it was. So I did the thing last night, Drew. I deleted my save data. Actually, I didn't. I just started a new save data. You can do, there's like 5 slots you can do. So I started a new slot because I was just so confused. So then I'm playing through it again, and I'm like starting to figure out what's going on. So what happens is every time you die, one of your quote unquote children, I don't know, one of your children, is your next character.
Correct.
And what you have to realize is that when you do these special challenges, they call them insights, and you discover the insight. Mm-hmm. And then when you beat it, it shows up in your quest log as incomplete, and then you beat it and it says it's complete, and it'll tell you, press R to do this. When you die, that is inherited by your children. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to do it again.
Correct.
If your dad learned it, then your daughter doesn't have to learn it. So in that way, that part is not roguelike. Once you've done it, you don't have to do it again. So that's great. I was like, okay, cool. I figured that part out. You don't have to do the challenges again. And then, when you fight the boss, and I finally beat the boss today, it shows up in the, essentially a checklist around a door. You don't have to go beat that boss again. I don't even know if they're there or if it just shows up a crushed in door or whatever. But you don't have to go hunt that boss down again. So once you've beaten a boss, you don't have to do it again. Mm-hmm. So that is also not very roguelike. And I think the first game was just like that. Yeah. But what you do have to do is you start off in the first area every single time. You have to go find the area that you need to beat the boss in. And that's going to be in a different place every time. And then hunt down the boss and beat the boss before you do it again. And I think you can unlock some portals that'll take you to some zones immediately as well.
Yeah, they do.
I unlocked the fifth or the 6th zone already. I thought I was unlocking a portal to the 2nd zone. But the thing about this game is when you start playing it, just worry about gold. There is no way you will beat that boss with your first guy or your second guy.
So you definitely going to go gold hunting, right? There's runs that you're going to say, I'm not even going to try to beat the bosses. I'm just collecting gold.
Yep. Yeah. The first 2 or 3 runs at least, just get as much fucking gold as you can. And when you go to the skill tree, buy. You can buy health upgrades, armor upgrades. You can buy new characters and all that stuff. You'll need all that. And then the other part is it's very much like Shovel Knight Dig, right? You have to find the blueprints in the world.
For the armor upgrades
and then the blacksmith
upgrades.
Can build it for you. You have to buy it from him. It's a win-win, right? You have to buy it from him, but then you have those upgrades. Then you will be able, like I got the 3rd level upgrade of the sword before I could beat the boss.
But the problem you don't even try a lot, right? Stuff gets expensive quickly, and there's so much to buy, right? And you're not making a ton of gold. Like it's just there's not like if you get like a couple thousand, like that's a good run.
2,000's a good run, yep.
And there's items that are like 10,000. So I'm like, whoa, how?
And then every time you level up like your health or your armor, the next upgrade is a lot more for the same upgrade.
Yeah.
It's not like you get 20 health or something.
And if you start a new run, you lose all your gold. There is something in the skill tree you can unlock a bank, and you like 10% goes into the bank. And
I unlocked that early. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't save much.
I don't know how to get the money out of the bank, honestly.
It's automatic.
Oh, okay. So you buy something that comes out.
If you had a run that was and you got 1,000 gold and you want to buy something for 1,200, if you have 200 in your bank, it automatically just puts it towards it.
Yeah. The upgrading the system is just obsessive. All you want to do is keep doing runs so you can buy upgrades so that you can feel like now I can do this area or beat this boss. But there is a point where, I was upgrading my health thinking like, I want to keep upgrading my health. I went from like 300 health to 370 to 400. But then it feels like it declines, and it's like I'm spending a lot of money for little upgrades, and maybe this isn't as important anymore.
Yeah.
The other thing I think you mentioned too is the selection of characters might be pretty limiting. And right now I'm just playing with the knight. So I always pick the knight. I just don't want to deal.
Yeah.
I tried the ranger one time on my first save file.
Yep.
And it's like, it's too different. I just want to focus on a knight right now.
So the problem is you do your skill tree. That's how you unlock new classes, right? You have to buy them. And when you see a new class, you're like, oh, maybe I'll like them.
Right.
The problem is the more classes you buy means the less time you're going to get the knight.
Yes. And that's why I am not buying it.
Double-edged sword. Like, I don't want to tell you because it's part of the fun, but like, I could tell you probably right now which ones not to buy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's part of the fun and part of the game. But yeah, there's ones I'm like, oh my God, that's taking up 2 slots where I could have gotten somebody I wanted.
Right.
You know, so
you are forced to buy the ranger early on.
You are.
And I did buy the barbarian. But the funny thing is, like, if you buy one of those classes, it'll give you something else, like an item or something that you can then buy. So like there's a mage that I haven't bought, and there's an architect I haven't bought. I'm trying to avoid it for that very reason. It's like, I just want a knight, but there's upgrades I haven't accessed yet.
I agree. I will say the ranger is the worst. I'll never use them. The architect, read the description more. That's not a player. It's not a class.
Oh, okay.
So read that one. Because the architect you should buy.
I've thought about the thing about the ranger is they shoot arrows, so you can do long range, but it's just not as fun.
No,
it's fun to run through and use your sword or whatever. Yeah. So, so I'm hesitating buying those classes. But yeah, and then I've had a few characters where I was like, I feel powerful, I'm ready to do this, and I got like the people that have like a 1 health bar, and you're just like, what? And then you get hit by one thing and you die.
Yeah.
But it's so fantastic. What a great series. And the game is really a lot like the first game, but I think it's better in just about every way. And it looks great on Switch. 60 frames with the animations are so detailed. Yeah. It's fantastic.
The more you play, like these more like features you get playing, I don't want to like permanent, I don't want to say, but you'll see. And then I'm just curious to see like some of the levels and how I got stuck and I missed bosses and stuff. I'd be intrigued to see what your thoughts are on that. I thought that was a little, but I'll be honest, I wasn't reading like all of the books scattered everywhere and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe
I don't think it's super important.
No, but maybe that would have helped me lead me in the right way here or there. I don't know.
It gets you in the headspace. Like, I want to know what's going on, but like, yeah, some of them are a little weird. The bosses will leave notes. But yeah, it's not super important. But I love the way they let you handle the upgrades by increasing the weight on your character. Yeah. So you start off with like 225% weight ability, but once you go under 100%, you can actually encumber yourself below 100%, but it takes away from your max HP.
So I didn't understand what that meant. That's like your resolve, right?
That's your resolve.
So if you pick up like a rune, well, not a rune,
a relic.
It's almost like a relic.
Yeah.
It minuses that. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a run where I totally forgot about that. And there was just a bunch of relics in a row. And I was like, cool, I'll take it. And my health bar was down to like 29 out of 29. I was like, what? And I was like, oh no. So you don't want to get under 100%, but you know, if you see a relic that's really cool and helpful and it's going to take you under 100%, you go, okay, I'm going to lose some max HP, but I'm going to take this relic on. So it's kind of a give and a take system. And for almost everything in the game, until you use a relic or until you have a trait, it doesn't tell you what it is. And then once you have it, then it will tell you when you see it, which I wish Binding of Isaac did. But like then when you come to the relic and if you've had it before, it'll say, it does this. But the first time it doesn't tell you. So you can look it up if you want to. But, you know, I think the first several runs you do, just get gold and get every different relic and trait that you find. Yeah, and just try to unlock those things in the game so that when you do want to go for a boss run, you have a better idea of who you're picking and what you're picking up. I think it's going to go down as one of my favorite roguelikes of all time.
It really is. I agree with that.
It's stellar. I'll definitely like get a physical or something. Can't recommend it enough.
Agreed.
All right, tell us about Pokemon.
Pokemon. I've been playing a lot. I have 85 Pokemon caught.
Wow.
So this game, as you know, my Pokemon library is not big. I've played a few. I've tried some. I liked some. I didn't like some. I will tell you, John, this is my favorite Pokemon game I've played so far.
Wow.
It's great. I mean, you start off right. I like the subtle story. It's your first day. You're going to this big university school.
Hogwarts.
Sure. You go there. You meet this chick, becomes your friend. She helps train you a little bit and teaches you the ways. You're at school for a little bit, not doing too much, but just kind of setting a story. And then it's kind of it. The whole point of it's like at the end of the semester, they have this big journey. That's pretty much you have to go find your treasure. And I put treasure in quotation marks, where it's really like what you think treasure is. And then there's like these 3 storylines, right? You can go do the traditional, go battle the gyms and get the gym badges. And if you do, every badge you get helps. It allows you to catch Pokemon easier. Let's say it that way. You could go through, just like Team Rocket. I think this is Team Star in this one. So if you go down that road, Starfall something. I haven't really gone down that quest line. And then the third quest line is Titans. You go fight these giant Titan Pokemon. I will say I wasn't doing that at first. Do it. It's worth your time because what you get from them is valuable. I'll just say that. So just make sure you do, a couple here and there. Overall, I'm really, really enjoying it. It's fun. It's awesome being able to ride. We're calling the Pokemon Violet because it has some weird name. So that's the Pokemon we ride around. And the exploration. I like this. Again, not a huge Pokemon guy, so some of this stuff might already been out there, but they do these raids, and if you want, when you play, you can connect yourself online or offline. So when you come to these, they almost look like these little crystallized castles, and when you just go up to it, it's like it'll show like a shadow silhouette of a Pokemon, and it says, "Do you want to raid and fight this Pokemon?" And you can say yes, and if you're online, you can play with 3 random people, and you fight this Pokemon together. And then you can capture it at the end. If you're offline, I think they just give you 3 like NPC guys, and you still do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's pretty unique. They have like this crystallized approach where you can see certain ones walking around, and you can fight them guys. It's just kind of a new twist on the game, where you have to break the crystal before you can really capture them. Like I said, I think I've beaten 3 gyms so far. I've killed 2 Titans. And my kids love it. They've been running around a little bit while I wasn't playing, and really enjoying it. There's a lot of like food, which I really haven't dug into yet. I don't really understand the point of getting food, like food shops everywhere.
I heard making sandwiches, you get like buffs.
Yeah, sandwiches. There's picnics that you can do, which if you see a picnic area in the wild, I think it just kind of like going to the healing place. It kind of just heals your Pokemon as well. But I mean, it controls very smooth. I do like that. There's ways to fast travel, which are nice. So you don't have to run everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They say open world, and it is, but it's definitely that traditional open world where like you don't have that feature yet to get across the water. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, you can't go everywhere.
You don't have the bombs yet to blow up that valley to get to, so it is and it isn't.
Right.
But you can, I do like, there's not really a set storyline. There's not really set quests. You kind of just do what you want.
Right.
There's no linear path, which is kind of fun and cool. So I'm really liking it. I think I'm going to play through it. I'll finish it off. Now, will I complete the Pokédex? That's another question, but I don't know. I like the combination as well of being able to, they do have this one feature. If you push R, it sends your Pokemon out, and it will just attack people randomly and kill them. And then you'll get experience points.
Oh, the auto battle.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll die because they lose a little bit of health when they do that. But that's cool. I like the battling. I think it's easy. It's quick. It's not dragged out too bad. Being able to capture them. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying it.
And now, one last thing.
Drew, there's a big elephant in the room that we did not talk about. And that is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out. And there are some technical issues with the game that pretty much every review, everybody who's playing the game has noticed and has voiced. Right now, there's definitely reports of crashes. That stuff happens with new games all the time. No big deal. Whatever, that happens. The big things we're seeing are that graphically, there's some places where it's extremely rough. Not the first Pokemon game this has happened to. But more importantly, we're seeing like game freezes. We are seeing clipping errors. We're seeing issues where people capture the Pokemon in the ball, but you can see the Pokemon outside the ball. Slow down, weird. I don't know if you've seen this, like where, like you see it a lot in Monster Hunter where the frame rate of an animation of a character in the distance is very minimal.
Mm.
And then as you get closer, the frame rate picks up. But like there's scenes in classrooms where kids are in the classroom that are pretty much close to you. And it's like beep, 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 like really low frame rates and stuff like that. And it has led to a lot on social media, people posting little like video captures of weird things happening, slow down, that sort of thing. And I can say in every review I read that talk about the technical problems of the game always comes up. And it's really unfortunate because Nintendo has always released very polished games. What does this all mean? And I want to open the discussion with, first of all, this question. Is this okay to be happening in a Pokemon game?
Yeah, I think it is. It's Pokemon. I mean, it's animated graphic characters. I mean, it's you're not playing God of War. I think it's overreacting. I do. It's not hindering you from playing the game. It's not game-ending bugs. It's not communication errors. It's not any of that. I played the game probably for 15 hours, maybe 10. And
what have you seen? Yeah, like what have you seen?
There has been times which are the most annoying times I've seen were like there was like a Pokemon there and then it kind of like disappeared. Right. And I think it was like a graphical thing and then like maybe it reappeared like you talked about the clipping thing, but I was close to them.
Yeah.
So that would be annoying. I mean, I did walk through a door once. Like usually you go up to the door and you push A and you enter it. Like I just kept walking right through the wall. But it didn't freeze. It just like started for 2 seconds and then it said I entered the door and I was in the building.
Right.
It's Pokemon. I mean, at the end of the day, it's fine. There's parts of the games that I enjoy how it looks. Just like, it's just that cartoony type look game. It's Pokemon is never going to be that realistic looking game. It's just not. They obviously went with this world and tried to make it an open world, like I just said, versus the other parts. If there was technical problems that were hindering me from completing something in the game, then yes. But the game plays perfectly from that point of view, right? There's no game-ending bug or you can't finish this quest that you talked about a little while ago on PlayStation that I've come across. That doesn't mean it's not out there, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
I haven't seen a lot. I haven't seen reports, I think, of any of that
I think it's
either.
just all graphically
glitching and
stuff like that. But I think there's a big difference between graphical issues versus technical issues, and it's a fine line. But I would think technical issues are more of the aspect of you can't physically hit A when I want to turn in my quest, right? I haven't seen that or heard of that. So for me, it's fine. I don't really see the big issue.
I think there's multiple levels of it. And like Marty tweeted out a little earlier this week, showing just some like very jaggy graphics in the background of where he was playing. And I'm definitely in the camp of that doesn't bug me in a Pokemon game. Would I like to see the most crisp, brilliant graphic? I mean, sure, why not? I'd love to see that. But I've played plenty of Pokemon games where even Arceus, the game is just very simple looking or whatever. Nothing that like certainly affects how I would review and rate the game. If it looked more brilliant and had more detail and more things to do, it would rate more highly to me. But like, I'm fine if it's not like that. And there's definitely a segment of the community that's like, we need to stop. I know Fartsy was big on this on Twitter. We need to stop saying that this is okay for Pokemon. But when it comes to graphics and realism, whatever, it doesn't bug me. But I was going to play this game day one and I hesitated because seeing some of like these really big frame rate dips and some really nasty sort of clipping issues, I am really excited for this game. And I don't want to get in a situation where I play the game with all the bugs. And then by the time I finish the game, they go, hey, we got a patch. Everything's all fixed up. And it's like, I'm only going to play this game one time. I want your best version of it.
I got to stop you because I don't think bugs is the right term.
Pokemon.
Right? I mean, like I said, it's graphically the issue. And I don't think that fits. I don't think there is a way to fix this. I think it's a hardware thing that's just.
I think it can be fixed. Yeah, I think it can be fixed.
I don't know. I don't.
There is an art to a big open world game, and maybe Game Freak is obviously not experienced with it as much, but some of these things might just be out and out bugs that were deprioritized before release, that they're already trying to fix. But like, seeing like I saw like Pokemon's going through on the motorcycle and then the whole game freezes for like a second and a half and then continues kind of like burp, 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 burp. Like that stuff where it's like it's not fatal or anything like that, but it kind of takes you out of the zone. It takes you out of the experience. And if that's something that can be fixed in a few weeks, then I'll just wait a few weeks and then play kind of a more polished version of the game. And I hesitated making this our last thing because I know how you are with graphics. Like you don't care, right? You will, go to town on a game, like, no matter whatever. But I heard a suggestion and I don't know if I believe it, but I wanted your take on this. That did Game Freak make this game with an anticipation that there was a higher level of hardware that was going to be out when it came out? And that what we're playing is, here's the version that will work on Switch. But the target platform is actually Switch Pro, Switch 2, whatever you want to call it. But that hardware is now not here. So we are all playing it works on the Switch version of it. You think anything to that or no?
I mean, that's possible, but I don't know. I don't want to say they don't care, right? Because everybody wants their game to look and be perfect, but
yeah. And I don't know if I buy that either, because when the install base of a Switch is like 110 million, you want it to perform well on the Switch.
Of course.
You don't like, here, just take it or whatever. And we're servicing the 4 million people that have a Switch 2, and that's it. That's all we care about.
I don't know. I'm not, me. You're talking to the wrong person about this stuff. If no one said anything, I don't even know if this is noticeable for me.
Are you playing docked or handheld?
All of it's been docked.
Okay.
I haven't played handheld at all.
I was watching an Arlo video about it, and he said like he just had constant technical issues, but the footage that was being used for his video, he noticed wasn't as bad. And he said, when I played, this was much worse. So, and I'm seeing like people are having different experiences. So I wonder if you're having a better experience or you just don't mind it when, we see those things. I'll tell you one thing though. This makes me worried about Breath of the Wild 2. I'm really afraid.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it's not out yet.
Yeah, for two reasons. And I'm Nintendo has delayed Breath of the Wild too, so I feel like it'll be ready. They were never going to delay Pokemon. They always come out this time of year. They come out in November. And I did see somewhere where it said, how come they didn't just release Arceus instead of January, released it this November for us to play now, and then have this game release next November? I think that would have been way better. I still don't know why Arceus came out in January.
Yeah.
Still bizarre. But it makes me worried because we saw since Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild had some issues, but for the most part was fine. But we saw Link's Awakening. Nintendo has always put out very polished game. Link's Awakening, when you're around the lake area and it got really stuttery, it wasn't that it was bad. It was because we're not used to Nintendo doing that. That was weird. And I don't think they ever fixed it. But it also wasn't that big a deal. But Age of Calamity is a mess. And to this day, when I think of Age of Calamity, I can't even remember much of the story. But I remember how much of a mess that game is. And how much I wish they cleaned it up a bit. And also how good that game might be on a Switch 2. In fact, I would consider replaying the game on a Switch 2.
Of course you
just
would.
to enjoy that, because that game was I mean, even you have to acknowledge that game was an ugly mess at
John,
times.
I played 120 hours of that game.
I know.
That doesn't bother me. I don't know. You're talking to the wrong person about this stuff. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother, but it was.
Zero.
There was times when it was like the frame rate was like, oh my god, it was so ugly.
I don't care. I mean,
now,
we still play 8-bit games. Like, who cares?
The 8-bit games look a lot better. And but
they still freeze when you get hit and you jump in.
I know.
It's the same thing.
Doesn't that become part of the charm of it though? Like, the
So why is it okay for that but not for this?
I don't know, because I think it's part of the nostalgia. When we were kids, consoles, even computers, they couldn't handle some of these graphics, and so we got used to when you go through an area and there's a bunch of enemies, the game starts slowing down.
Yeah.
And now it's nostalgia, because I think when Mega Man 9 came out, they actually put some of that stutter in on purpose. But like, I don't even know if I was playing an NES emulator and it just played the games more perfectly, I don't even know if I would like that. I'd be like, no. It's supposed to slow down in this section. But I think we expect a little bit more. But it makes me worried. What if Tears of the Kingdom comes out and it's as messy as Pokemon is or Age of Calamity is? What happens then? I don't know. But I tweeted a couple days ago and said that when we look back at the Switch, we might look at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and say that's when the Switch stopped being a performant viable product, and they lost market because people started to notice that. The Switch is 2 generations behind right now. I mean, it was always a generation behind PS4, and now that you have a PS5, and there's even rumors of PS5 Pros already. And just like with the Wii was really fun until, you started seeing what Call of Duty looked like on it and all these other ports. And it just was like a joke. And so people started drifting off to other consoles and they waited too long. And then the Wii U came out, but it came out just too late. And it just kills me to see the Switch.
I don't know. End of the day, you look at the Switch as a handheld hardware, right?
Right.
That's what it is. Would anyone ever compare the 3DS to a PlayStation or Xbox?
No, but that was a portable. This is a mainline Nintendo console.
Yes and no. At the end of the day, you're going to be limited regardless of what you do as a portable. Fact. It's just the fact.
But it's not just a portable. It's Nintendo's
Doesn't
console.
matter. It's still a portable device.
It does matter.
I don't think it does.
I mean, if people have to choose, right? I mean, we already see it where people with a Nintendo and another console decide. You have been talking this week about possibly, and guys, if I'm breaking this news to you, possibly getting a Series S Xbox.
Listen, John, we both know it's not happening.
Why not? It's pretty cheap.
Well, first of all, the deal was over Saturday, and I didn't do it.
So you didn't do it?
That's the first problem. No, because I don't have time. I'm literally playing game after game after game on the Switch.
But here's the thing. Okay, so let's just say hypothetical. Hypothetical, Amy surprises you. Maybe she bought the Series S from Target, right?
Sure.
Christmas Day, you have it. February comes around. Hogwarts Legacy is coming out.
Yes.
You have a decision to buy it on the Switch or the Xbox. And Drew will surprise everybody and say, I got it on Xbox because it'll look a lot better. And suddenly, Nintendo has lost a sale. And that's where it begins. How many sales you lose to other consoles.
Sure.
And that's, to me, that's huge because we like to say, Nintendo's successful. The Switch is successful no matter what. But they're already losing sales to other consoles. And they're, when people are choosing a console and they're looking at comparison graphics of, let's say, Hogwarts Legacy, and they go, here it is on the Switch. Here it is on the PlayStation. They're like, no, mommy, I want a PlayStation. That's when it happens.
Maybe
Switch is successful, but this is when it happens. So I don't know. Just seeing the Pokemon stuff, I've kind of hated seeing it because we've dogged on Pokemon in the past, but I don't think we've ever seen kind of a technically unstable version of Pokemon like we're seeing right now. But we'll see if it improves. By the way, Dylan, my Pokemon friend, he got the grass shiny. He doesn't think Game Freak's going to fix it.
I don't either.
I
think it's fine. I think it's fine the way it is. I really do.
I think Dylan's wrong on this. I will say Dylan's wrong a lot. Dylan, you are. You're wrong a lot. I think some of these are actual bugs, and I think they will fix it. I don't think it will look great or anything. But
Dylan is right. They're not trying to fix a graphical enhancement. They
Pokemon that are standing right next to you shouldn't just pop in and out.
It's not happening.
It's so weird to me that you don't see that. How does that not bug you? That's so weird to me. We are the odd couple, I guess. That shit bugs the hell out of me.
Not me.
All right. I think that's it. I think that's your show.
That's it. What a show.
What a show.
Well, John, what do we have coming up in this few weeks?
That's a good thing you asked. Just Dance 2023 edition comes out November 22nd. I'm tempted. I don't know. Of course you are. I don't know. Then Front Mission First comes out November 30th. God, this is a game I swear come out like 6 months ago. I feel like we talked about it forever. That's coming out November 30th. And the second and third ones are planned to come out at later dates. So the first one is coming out. And for some reason, you're highlighting it on the document. I don't know why.
Copy and pasting.
To what? Are you
I want to see what this game is all about.
Oh, okay. I got you. And then December 1st, Inscription is finally coming to Switch. Can't recommend this game enough. Unless you have a particular hatred for card battling games. There's so much personality and humor and fun in this game. In all its different sections, not all of them are as good as, and then like top tier. There's some areas where I was like, this is stupid. But overall, it's such a great experience. And then Resident Evil Village Winter's expansion. This was the expansion content that came out a month or two ago for other consoles. For whatever reason, it was delayed on Switch. I think they wanted to roll out their cloud version first and then this. But I think this is the stuff that puts it into third person, and there is like DLC storylines with characters in the game. I can't remember. Are you playing Resident Evil Village? I know you tried it. Did you not buy it?
No, I'm not playing it.
Not going to play it?
I will not be playing it.
Okay. But if I didn't say, that comes out December 2nd. And then outside of that, I don't know what else is coming out in all of December, so I don't know how long these lists will go. But Sports Story is the big one. And I can't think of anything else. Witcher 3, that update does come out. That's an update, but I mean, that's a big one. And just taking a look, I don't see anything. Oh, Resident Evil 7 cloud version comes out December 16th.
Ooh, Brave and Greedy came out this week. I haven't done.
Oh, yeah.
That might be now that I beat Road Legacy. I'll play that. I'll update you guys on that next week.
Okay. Yeah, these are the last ones. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion comes out in December 13th as well. I think that might be the biggest game coming out for all of December. You don't usually see games coming out this time of December because if there are problems, like a lot of teams they're taking holiday and whatever. So it is weird to see games come out this late. But that's what's happening. So yeah, October, November, December have been very, very busy, and I'm looking forward to the holidays where we can just sort of catch up.
Indeed. That's it.
All right.
That's a show.
It's a show. That's a wrap.
Good night.
Good night, Drew. Good night, dads.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including iTunes, Castbox, Spotify, and Stitcher. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Pretty please. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Follow us on Twitter at @NDadsAfterDark or email us at dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com. And a big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. You rock. That's all for tonight. Good night, dads. Sweet dreams.